Welcome to Set the Tone, the podcast, brought to you with support from BTL, the makers of M-Sculpt Neo. Did you ever think that mom jeans could be chic? In this episode, we'll discover how, with some ingenuity and innovation, our guest built a business out of stylish maternity jeans, and her outside-the-box thinking extends to many facets of life and fitness. We'll listen in as Dr. Amanda Holden, an aesthetic specialist from Southern California, hosts another edition of Set the Tone. Set the Tone is supported by BTL, the makers of M-Sculpt Neo. M-Sculpt Neo offers 2 therapies in a single treatment for less fat and more muscle.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Dr. Amanda Holden. Thanks so much for joining us for another exciting conversation about wellness, fitness, and beauty. I'm really excited to introduce today's guest. Her name's Jessica Heatherington. She's a mom, influencer, and an entrepreneur. She's got tons of energy, and we're going to tap into that today. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you so much for having me. This is just such a fun, great opportunity, and I can't wait to get started.
I'm so happy that you carved out the time in your day to make this happen.
Of course.
So I call you a mom influencer. You really do appeal to moms, and you address so many issues related to parenting specifically. One thing I love is that you balance your approach to wellness and fitness with being a mom. And that's not always easy, as we both know, being a mom of multiple children.
Yes.
What are some ways that moms can be challenged to focus on their own wellness and fitness? And what do you recommend for finding that balance in the everyday life of a mom?
It is definitely challenging. We are always giving. That's just as a mom, and we're great at it, and it feels so good to give. But what I have realized is if I'm not giving to myself, taking care of myself, having that pause before I go into different transitions throughout the day, even just waking up, taking a moment, feeling gratitude, even like setting an intention for the day, it just helps me so much. So I feel like, some days we have a huge list, and I have found that I need to have grace with myself before I try to tackle a huge list, and just say to myself, I'm not going to get everything done. I'm going to try to feed my body well. I'm going to try to get in a walk. I'm going to try to get in a yoga class online. But if I don't get it done, that's okay. And what I found as I just turned 40. So I feel like after being a mom for 8 years, I will literally just get in whatever I can. And that is my fitness, whether it's chasing the kids and going on a quick walk to the park. When I'm at the park, I'll do a breathing yoga session where I'm just reaching my arms up towards the sky. I'm seated cross-legged, getting in even just 3 to 10 inhales and exhales. And it just feels amazing. Even holding Luna, she's 20 pounds. So I'll do squats with her, while I'm waiting for the water to boil for pasta. Just getting in whatever we can. If we can't get in that 30-minute long class, every little bit counts. And I just think that just sets a great pace for the day.
Absolutely. I love that Luna becomes your weight for your workouts. And that deep breath is really so important for us grounding ourselves. That self-love that you give yourself. Yes. And that pause.
Totally.
So that's beautiful.
Thank
I love
you.
that. So we have some new tools available to us, like M-Sculpt Neo that you've tried recently, that help get bodies back into shape. And these are especially popular now, especially in our office, for so-called mommy makeovers. So do you think it's important that moms give some thought to self-pampering and seeking treatments to specifically feel better themselves, or is that being selfish?
I think whatever we can do to feel good about ourselves, and we're all just so different, there's no one way to feel good. What will work for somebody will not work for another. But I do think we all want to feel strong and confident, no matter what size or age we are. Like, I loved walking into the office the other day, and I saw women that were, older, and I thought, maybe even close to 70s.
Absolutely.
And I thought, that is so, there's never a limit to your age on, whatever time in your life that you feel like, I need to do something for myself. You should do it, because if we feel good about ourselves, we're setting a pace for the whole vibe in your house. like days when I don't feel good, when I didn't get enough sleep, and that happens often, that we all get grouchy. It happens. We lose patience. And those days are going to happen. And like I said, I'm just going to keep using the word grace, because that has helped me so much to keep that in mind, that we just have to have grace with ourselves. But I think that taking care of ourselves, and like I said, if you can't get those workouts in, I honestly, when I came in and I talked to you about I wanted to do something for myself. I have a 6-month-old baby, turned 40 years old, and I want to do something somewhat natural. I can't, do any fillers right now. But I love when you mentioned the M-Sculpt Neo, because I thought, oh my gosh, I have that diastasis recti. That's how you say it, right?
That's how you say it, yes. For those listening, that's the splitting of the abdominal muscles that happens as we are pregnant and our uterus stretches. And so it's that splitting that happens. And this treatment actually helps with that, which is really cool. M-Sculpt Neo improves it by up to 19%. So you have the diastasis recti.
Yeah. Yeah, and so Dr. Amanda just said, hey, well, we have something for you here that would be so great. And I was going to and I think you can do this with physical therapy as well, help strengthen.
Yeah.
But yeah, she said, let's get you hooked up on this machine. And I've done 2 treatments, and I can feel there is definitely some strength coming back. I really can. And just even after, I feel like you just feel your muscles, you're like more aware. I feel like I'm engaging my muscles, which I have not felt since having the baby, where I'm just kind of like throughout the day, I'm holding up my posture a little bit better. And so I just think, I think it's a great tool. Especially if you don't have a lot of time, you're going to come in here and get some strength that's like doing,
20,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes, and you don't have to do the work.
Yeah, exactly.
The machine does it for you.
So I think that's just so amazing. I think it's worth every penny to come in and just do something for yourself where you're going to feel stronger. And with that strength, you build confidence. You're going to feel good, and just being able to do all those things that are so physically demanding as a mother. It helps with all of it, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And then you bring home that new sense of self, that renewed sense of self, and that confidence home to your family, and that translates through all your children and your husband and your friends.
Yes,
they just see it different. They see you differently.
For sure. Yes.
It's like that vibe of energy that you can just allow to glow out to the world.
For sure.
So.
Yes, that's what we all need it. We all need to feel that, for sure. It makes a big difference.
You're listening to Set the Tone, the podcast, supported by BTL, makers of M-Sculpt Neo. M-Sculpt Neo offers 2 therapies in a single treatment for less fat and more muscle.
Being a mom of 3 children, just like me, you not only do that, but you're also an entrepreneur and into fashion, and you have an online store called She and Wolf. Tell us about that. Like, when did you start that? What was your inspiration? Yeah. Tell us about the other side.
Okay,
of
so
Jessica.
this is really fun. It's fun to talk about things before pre-kids, right? Because we get so wrapped up. It's like, oh, we had a life. Did we have a life before kids? Yes, we did. Thomas and I, we were living in San Diego. We were married for 3 years. I had an opportunity right towards the end of my 20s to model a little bit more, and I went out to New York with some girlfriends, and I brought my book. And I found an agent out there, and they were like, you've got to move out here. And I thought, well, I just got married. I can't leave my husband. Well, he had done some modeling too in the past. And so we both just kind of went for it. And in between castings, we had these little retro vintage bikes we found at a thrift store. And we would bike around the city and thrift shop. And our apartment was so tiny. It was just this one tiny, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. And our house was filling up with vintage clothes. And at the time, eBay was huge. It's still huge now, but we decided to start listing things on eBay. And it just thought, well, we might as well start making some money off of this. It started to take off. And one of the cool parts is we found a lot of designer jeans, and we ended up converting them into maternity jeans.
I saw those. I was looking at all those trendy styles, and I wish I would have known, so I could have ordered trendy maternity jeans when I was pregnant.
Yeah, because you just make you feel so good if you can find a pair of jeans, because we have like one size, so many, like your favorite jeans, we could convert them. We had a great tailor out in New York, and so we ended up taking those jeans and putting the belly panel on, and basically like we have everything, like free people, any type of gene that you want, we could turn into a maternity gene. And so we still have that site up, and it's great. It's so fun to look back and think, wow, we just kind of started that, just the two of us, and it took off. And with kids, it's kind of, I haven't been able to do as much, but I have some good plans ahead to get it going again.
Hey, after we have kids, then we're inspired to work even harder once we have that time on the other side of the young ones, right?
Yes,
yeah,
for sure.
And then you can make your dreams even bigger than you ever thought, because now you have the kids motivating you to make them bigger, right?
I think so too. I think that's a great way to put it.
So what lessons did you learn about business and really about life from launching the online store?
Had eBay, it was great, and then we decided to open up sheandwolf.com, which was great because I had my vintage, and then we had maternity, and then I started blogging as well because Instagram started to open up a lot of opportunity. And so I had a lot of businesses coming to me, saying, we want you to wear this brand, and it really became a business there too. So I had the juggling, which I'm still trying to figure out. But what I realized is I really had to be patient with myself because it was such foreign territory to go, do the influencer world, and also having your own site because eBay was not running it for us anymore. And I had no idea that people would not know about sheandwolf.com. I just thought, well, people will just know how to Google. And I thought, oh no, nobody's coming. I need to figure out how to talk about it. But I really realized you have to nurture like what you love, just like your kids, you have to nurture and take care of your business. And so I think that was the biggest learning lesson for me. And still, I'm still figuring out, okay, I have to figure out time and set aside time for it because the more attention I give it and nurture it, it will grow and it will come off organic when I talk about it and not feel, because it can feel stressful there's a lot of stress. I learned.
and dependent upon the day, how much sleep you get with kids, sometimes that's just overwhelming and you go, do I even want to do that or do I want to put all my energy towards the kids?
Yes, exactly.
But then you have those days where you wake up and you just find that perfect balance, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's kind of what I was saying before. Like some days we're going to feel great and get it done. Other days we're not. And then we just have to say, it's okay.
Yeah.
Like it'll all come together.
Yes. So I also saw that you like to upcycle and you make it chic. So what attracts you to some of the more vintage styles? And what do you tell women who may complain that they can't wear today's styles specifically due to their body type?
So I love, I guess, I really love, my whole thing is kind of like the 70s, that hippie era, the free, and it felt like women were really starting to own their power. When you look back on those movies and you read about that era, that's what makes me feel good and empowered. And, and I feel like when I'm confident, I feel sexy, and healthy. And I love that. And I want everyone to feel that way, no matter, not everyone, I know everybody has a different body and it's beautiful. And I love that we're in this time right now where everyone, well, I shouldn't say everyone. I feel like they're the market now and everyone talking on Instagram, it's like whatever type of body that you have, there's something for you.
Exactly.
There's every size out there, Target, they have so many sizes now. And I think it's so wonderful. So I just say, you don't have to wear the trend. Like I personally hope that the low-rise jeans never come back for my body type. I'm all about pulling the high-waisted jeans up, and it's so flattering. I love it. So I would say, whatever makes you feel good, you just rock it. And some women, even if things are out, and nowadays it's like if you feel good, and you're not super, tiny, and you're just out there, if you're feeling great, you just rock it, and I love it.
And you look amazing.
Yes, totally.
And everyone's attracted to watching whatever you're creating, whether it, is a social platform like Instagram where you see people rocking it or dancing to a TikTok.
Yes, totally.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Every size and shape is now accepted.
It is. It's so beautiful. Yeah, just to see a smile and a person feeling good in their body is everything. So whatever you put on, however you feel in that outfit, it will just show if you feel, and if you're trying to look like somebody else, we all know, like if we're trying to do that, it never really works.
It doesn't. You know that it's awkward. You know that it's not you.
Yeah.
You have to embrace who you are.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. So that's my advice.
That's cool. Right on. So this has been such a blast. I've really loved speaking with you today. We always try to end with some key takeaways. So here goes the lightning round, if you will. Okay. What's the coolest item you've ever upcycled?
Definitely the maternity jeans. It was that fun. Thomas is actually the one that came up with it. How we got started is when we were vintage shopping, we saw a really cute pair of designer maternity jeans. And we put them up on our eBay store. We bought them for $5 and they sold for like $125.
Wow.
So we thought, we need to do this. Everybody's getting rid of their designer jeans because they have tiny closets. And that was just amazing. That was just like, we paid a lot of our rent with that. It was, just coming up with that idea. It was just so brilliant. So
well, as baby Luna grows, I can see that becoming like a nationwide explosion in your life.
Thanks.
Literally, it's a really cool trend. If you haven't seen those jeans, you better check them out on her website. So what's the most important lesson you want to impart to your kids?
Oh gosh, I am always, my kids, they're all so different. I'm always telling, she's 8. How old are your kids?
Mine are 23, 18, and 10.
Oh my goodness.
They're all grown now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the 8 you see, especially, I'm sure your oldest, I'm always telling Goldie, because she's such a free spirit, and I always tell her to just be you. And even if she'll say to me when I'm being goofy, she'll say, Mom, you're weird. And I'll say, be weird. Be different, be however you want to be. There's nobody else out there like you. We're all different. I always tell them we're all the stars in the galaxy. We're just like that here on this planet. We're these stars. We're all cut differently. And when we're ourselves, we shine so bright and we're all, we shine differently. And so I heard Goldie, it was so cute the other day, a little boy told her that she's like, oh, he's like, that's weird, Goldie. And I heard her say, my mom said it's good to be weird. And I thought,
I love that. I could see a custom glow sign. Be weird. Yeah. Weird is beautiful.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. So
it's fun to be weird. I love that.
I do too.
Okay. So what's the most important lesson you've learned from your kids?
Oh gosh. I think that they are always in the moment, more so than us, right? It's so hard for us to give undivided attention. We always have that list. It feels like a waiting room that we're just waiting to pull that door open, and you're so busy. And but I think just being in the moment and intentional. And I also just love how forgiving they are with one another in life, and how they're just willing at any point just to forgive and forget. One moment they're crying, they're fighting, they're hitting each other, and then they're loving and sweet. And I think that is such a great lesson. They don't cancel people out,
Absolutely.
And I'm really learning from that. And at any point in the day, I've also realized, whether if it's, I say, kids, okay, we're going to start the day over. It'll be 2:00. We're all having a meltdown moment, whether we get out of the house, which always helps to go outside, or, I'll just put them down. I'm not one of those moms that will say, the iPads are a huge thing, especially after quarantine. A lot of us, we're all addicted to our devices. I think it's okay to put them down in front of the TV for a moment and give them the iPads, and just even go up and take a quick bath or shower, and then restart the day, and they're just okay, they didn't even care. We all have puffy eyes and we all cried, and we're just let's go have fun. And so that's one of my greatest things I learned from them. It just at any moment, and I think as moms we can set that pace, right? If we can just pick ourselves up, and sometimes we can't. I think sometimes we just need to snuggle and lay down and normalize just being relaxed, and maybe even kind of taking a nap, even if it's a close your eyes for 15 minutes. We all get in the bed. I know they're all safe. And I think I've just learned so much, because they're so good at listening to their bodies and emotions, I think. And so
so being present, be present, make sure to remember forgiveness and forgive quickly.
Yes.
And then listen to your body and really just be there.
Yeah.
And be there for your body,
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Those are the things
yes,
we forget as we're adults.
Be there for your body. Yes, because they are all the time. We need to be there for our body and take care of us.
I mean, this kind of leads into my last rapid fire question is, the parents are busy, you know, what's the single most important thing to do each day to focus on your own health and wellness? What advice can you give people?
Oh, yeah. It is hard. Thomas and I really struggle. We hardly ever do a day, especially with Luna. You know, she just comes with us now. But even if it's just, I realized, even like I said earlier, you know, with getting in fitness, whether if it's just doing things quickly, like those squats, was the same thing with just taking those pauses, you know, before we've had a crazy day, before we walk into the house, before we put our hand on that doorknob, I'll take some deep breaths. Whether if I'm in the car, I have the kids in the back, we have to go in Target, and I know it's going to be nuts just wrangling them. I'll take those pauses.
Even little breaks and realizing we're all human.
Yes.
No one's perfect.
Right.
And that we're all going to have those moments where, you know, we break down a little bit or we're not exactly that prototype mom or wife or anything like that. And that's okay.
Yes.
Right?
We're all so different.
We're all so different.
Yeah. It's not like a one size fits all as a mother, right?
I love that. Yeah. So thank you so much, Jessica. This has been really great just to talk to you today. I'd love for you to tell people where they can find you online if they want to follow you and hear more from you and find your website. So go ahead and tell everyone.
Great. So on Instagram, we are under She and Wolf. That's my husband and I. He's kind of like the wolf. That's a whole other story. I actually should explain that this week while we have that title, but I'm the she and he's the wolf. So we're She and Wolf at Instagram, and then you can find us at sheandwolf.com, where I talk about my blog. I have my vintage and maternity. It's all there.
Fabulous. So make sure you guys go follow Jessica and check out those maternity jeans and spread the word about those because they are trendy.
Nobody's perfect, but we're always improving, and a little help from BTL's devices can't hurt. Thanks for joining us. You can catch previous episodes of Set the Tone, the podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. And stay tuned for future episodes. For more information on Emsculpt Neo, visit bodybybtl.com.